Easter egg?
Well, there could be an Easter egg.
Your
still.
face is an Easter egg, TJ.
Your mom is an Easter egg, Luis.
Oh,
Tyler.
shit. Tyler got hit.
Yeah. Why?
I'm sorry, Tyler.
Fuck. What did I do to you besides?
You're standing in
Half
the
the
middle
stuff
of the
I've said on this.
firefight.
Tyler, I haven't talked to you in like a week. You know I have to bottle it all up.
Oh, yeah. And I remember what you guys were telling people on the last podcast. You were saying that I was an evil motherfucker because how I was going to pretend to kill Luis.
Pretend?
Yeah, in a
sick
fictional
fuck.
setting. And you were like, oh, Tyler's secretly evil. Fuck you, I'm not evil.
Well,
I'm
you can't
precious.
justify.
He's
You
not
can't.
secretly evil, just
You
plain
can't justify
evil.
killing somebody for charity.
It was one of the questions from the audience. It would be unfair not to answer it as detailed as I
By
did.
Jim, to be specific.
Yeah, well, okay, by another admin. Surely that makes it more important to answer.
Freaking Jim.
Should I explain my hypothetical plan to kill Luis, or...
Wait!
I think we should get the podcast
the
rolling
fuck?
and then immediately get into discussing that.
Who would you have to kill for it to be charity? Hitler?
No, Luis.
Apparently,
I mean,
Luis.
Yeah. Wait. Just...
No, like what Tyler was gonna do. Wait, what was it again, Tyler? Weren't you gonna have somebody like throw rocks at him at like $1
No.
per rock or something?
No,
it was...
kick my nuts
Oh,
for
yeah.
$1.
Yeah. And it raises money for charity. See? There's
For
a
people-
good part of it.
It raises money for people with testicular cancer.
Yeah, I know what it wouldn't raise
And that's
afterwards,
my first
if you know what I
uncut
mean.
thing.
All right, let's
Wow,
get the
that
show
was
on the
bad.
road.
Uncut testicles, okay.
Oh god. Alright, so should I start the countdown?
Nah, yes!
Okay then.
100,
So,
99.
Since this is unedited, do we all do the theme song ourselves?
No, I'm gonna put in the theme song. The theme song and the credits are gonna be there.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Shifty podcast. I'm Luis, aka SpartanSloth, and today we have...
You are aware that I can put in the real intro, right? Jesus.
With the power of movie magic, except it's audio.
Yeah, TJ, introduce yourself. Sorry about that.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's a person. Also,
Well,
TJ
that
1
was
2 3.
weak.
I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, it's because I already ruined it for him. Because he wanted to
only had a
introduce
week to
himself.
prepare yourself.
Yeah, but he always introduces himself as someone else. But then I went, "Go on, TJ." So I've kind of spoiled the game for him
Well,
already.
I mean, I was thinking of Justin Timberlake because that was the first name that popped into my head for some reason, but
should have
you
rolled
know,
with it.
I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't
As
feeling
Gav
it.
once said, fucking Justin. Or something
Oh.
like that.
So
I'm
our other
TDB
guest,
Quote for
Tyler.
the ages.
Yeah, this is still the introduction. So I'm TDBTyler, and our guest star. They can fight over it.
Sonny88p.
I'm Myshu.
You two should have totally fought over who was going to go first. That would have been funny as fuck. Just like audio fight. Just
Hang on,
yelling
let me
it.
go get my stock sound effect of fisticuffs in the back.
It's actually just the audio from the episode of Star Trek where Kirk fights the giant lizard. You got the epic music going on in the background.
Fight! I think it's important to announce to the audience, as we were joking about earlier, that this podcast will not be edited like my previous ones. So if there's any awkward silences or if something is really badly said on the podcast, viewer discretion advised. I'm not going to be able to do anything about it because uni sucks. Anyway, moving on.
Your face sucks.
This is immediately the podcast where I have to edit out like 50 things because every time I say I need a break or I'm on holiday, don't ask me to edit too much. Fucking people go crazy with like
All right, guys. So what's the most offensive thing you can think of?
Yeah.
TJ,
happens.
you were saying something the other day about like trying to break a record and mentioned more than 2 dictators at once, right?
To be honest, that can happen right now. Fuck it.
I could, but you can't just force it. It's got to happen naturally.
Yeah, you can't just list them off of Wikipedia and say that it's the same thing.
Wait, so I can just say a list like Hitler, Stalin, Kim Jong-un,
Kim Jong-il?
Well, I feel like.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
whatever.
I guess it's allowed.
Oh man, when black people have
But that's still
abortions, they're such cunts.
Jesus me.
Wow. Hey, Tyler,
Wow.
edit that out. Whoops.
I don't know. Do you want that edited out, Myshu, or do you want it to be uncut?
Oh, everything's uncut here.
Okay, we're going with uncut.
Everything's
so that's
uncut.
the standards we set.
Everything's uncut when you I can't think of something offensive with that at least.
You have full reign to be offensive this time round, and you fucked it up. I'm disappointed.
Everything's
in you.
uncut. Everything's uncut when you're part European.
Hey!
Ew.
Fuck! That's offending Sonny as well.
Sonny isn't European.
He's from fucking Belgium!
No, he's from Belgium, not fucking Belgium.
Okay, he's from Belgium. That's part of
Still.
Europe.
No,
Jeez.
Belgium is its own thing.
I think we should just break out Cards Against Humanity now.
It's not a country. It's actually just a big waffle.
Oh wow.
Sonny,
are,
Sonny, can you confirm?
They are famous for so
Waffles,
much more
French
than that.
fries, chocolate, beer,
Chocolate.
Sonny.
Yeah. And Sonny.
Brussels sprouts.
Wait,
Oh,
I
yeah,
attribute that
Brussels.
more to Brussels. The place.
Yeah, sure. But,
Yes, Brussels invented Brussels sprouts. You got that one.
Yeah. Gosh. And this is how we lose all of our European demographics.
Bye,
Yeah,
Tyler
fuck 'em.
sister.
Half your European demographic is in this room.
Not really. You'll be surprised. It's weird. I will admit, though, there was a moment in the Shifty Key podcast history where there were more Belgian viewers than English viewers. And I sat there and I was just like, that was totally Sonny. I don't know what he did, but it was a podcast he was on. And then afterwards it was just like, hang on, why do we have a Belgium audience? Well, we just ruined that relationship with the Belgium audience. TJ.
No, he didn't. Shout out to you guys. Thank you.
just one thing. I didn't post. I posted a journal about my first podcast, but I didn't tell anyone about it, so I don't know why there was a Belgian audience for that podcast.
It's weird. I wish I could
Like
go
I
back
said,
to the analytics on that and just print
Belgium
screen it.
is famous for waffles and French fries and Sonny, so you know.
Yeah, Sonny is like the famous, infamous, on and off again Belgian
Questioner.
dude. My brain stopped working.
Oh, that's going to be beautiful
Your brain
for the
stopped
Uncut
working.
episodes.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
I don't know.
I mean,
Could be.
if it stopped twerking.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Get out, Barbara.
Oh, come on, you guys didn't
God
pick that
damn it,
one from
Barb.
the first time. I had to repeat it.
Barb, damn it, Barb.
TJ, I've got a question for you.
No, you
Oh, this
don't.
ought to be good.
Well, it's about
If you
editing.
have a question, put it in the questions forum.
Yeah, you
TJ, 1
fuck.
second. I need to go to
You have to put it in
forums.
the questions box.
Yeah,
And just
yeah.
because the questions box sounds like a paper shredder doesn't mean it's actually a paper shredder.
Just because it
Good
makes the
reference.
noise.
Shout out to the RT shorts.
But you said when I was discussing the editing style that I'm gonna make this one uncut, and maybe the next 6 or 7 weeks, who knows, uncut.
And give everyone the voice of a giraffe.
No, I won't be doing that. How would I do that anyway?
I don't know. You do the magic.
Yeah.
How can you go from cut to uncut?
Well, quite easily.
you find a
like what we're
Jewish
doing
guy.
today. But fuck's sake, TJ. But I was gonna ask.
It
you
grows
said-
back? God damn. There's so much about men I don't understand.
Could say the same. But you said it was like the classic Shifty Key way of editing. In the past, did you guys just like just upload the audio as is, and not edit anything back then?
Well, I don't know about Jim, but what I would usually do is I just stick the audio straight into Final Cut, and then there are some basic audio editing options that are like automatic presets, and I would just like click those, like reduce echo, reduce background noise, whatever, and then I would try and go through and edit, like just edit out the awkward silences, but it took forever. Like
Beep, bop, beep, bop.
Really?
I don't know.
I remember there was a podcast where you said how long it took you to edit, and you were like, about 2 hours. And I sat there in a rage, and I was like, 2 hours? It takes me an entire Sunday.
Well, because I don't do any of the, I don't go back and edit all of the, I don't edit the sound quality. I just edit out the awkward silences and click the automatic stuff and just set that off to render.
Yeah.
I have a little bit more respect for what you do than I think other people, but I still don't do it for my whole entire day.
Yeah.
The longer that I can just imagine, because 2 hour long podcast would probably take 2.5 hours to edit out all the awkward silences. Because
Oh, that's an extra half hour. That really breaks it.
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's a deal breaker right there. I've gotten important things to do with my time, sit in bed and watch Netflix and eat Cheerios.
And masturbate. What? Who said that? Louise, how could you?
Hashtag uncut.
Yeah,
that would have been left in anyway. Jesus. But yeah, we can cover up my lazy form of not actually editing the upcoming podcast as taking it back to the retro style of editing back to
I should go back with the old background picture too.
We had a different background picture?
Yeah, it didn't have that nice box that made everything look neat and organized.
Oh no, it
was literally
the fucking
just
box.
words on picture.
It needs that box because it made the
should we-
text stand out.
If we're doing that, should we use that copyright-free song we used in
Yes.
4 or 5 episodes?
Wasn't those 4 or 5 episodes the whole time you just had the same guests on as well?
It was just
I think we had a different
the standard
guest.
roster, I guess.
I think it was
No,
mostly standard, but we had 1 or 2 guests. Wasn't Myshu one of our first guests? Mishu?
No, I don't
Yes.
think I came in until 10 or so. I don't remember.
Well, considering we're on episode 60, that's pretty
65?
Hold on,
pretty early.
I'll check it.
Luis, the checking guy.
What I loved was when we discovered that Low Zelda was on the podcast. I was on the podcast before I was, and I was like, Jesus, that must have been fucking ages ago. There are many people that were on the podcast before the editor that's sitting here worried.
So
Yeah, you fucking
for 3 episodes, it was just a standard roster. Then on the 4th one, we had the Cuban. The 5th one was Hello Zelda, and then the 6th one was Tyler,
Mm-hmm.
and the 7th one was Gaff.
Yeah. When
And
did
Mishu
Sonny join?
was on episode 9. I'm looking for Sonny right now.
I'm so close.
Yeah, well, you were
I
in
think
the
Sonny
single
was
digits.
30 or something.
I think something in the 20s, 30s. So
Sonny was on episode 26.
I'm
Oh man, I remember that 26, 20 to 30 was terrible because nobody was
Was it?
ever available to record.
thank you very much.
No, it's
Oh.
not you, Sonny. It was that nobody was ever available to record or
It's
edit,
because
and so I at that time felt this podcast thing, we can never get anybody. It's too much work.
You
And-
thought it was downhill from there when you brought me in, you motherfucker?
No,
What the hell?
it got better after we brought you in.
Yeah, you brought me in 21 as the editor. I was my first.
Then maybe it was the one.
yeah.
Maybe it was 10 to 20. That was bad.
I was
don't
like,
remember.
what the fuck?
I know it was
episode 26. That was a good
It
one.
was 10 weeks when I didn't it would get to Saturday. I'm like, I don't want to do this today.
Jesus, TJ,
No
do you
offense.
still feel the same way? We should
Yes,
tell everyone about it.
I don't want to be here. That's why I popped up and everybody's like, "What? He's not supposed to be here."
Yeah, that's why he's been sticking around for 65 episodes.
I'm actually not on the cast anymore. I just sneak my way into every recording.
He's the Kojima of the Konami family. Oh, sorry.
Tyler, I guess we
yeah?
started using the theme song you made in episode 5.
Yeah, because I'm sexy. Wait, I
What?
don't know what that's got anything to do with, but I feel like it's important to mention. Sorry.
Sure, but whatevs.
I think you need a new theme song.
I think we do too. I reckon we could do
I just
much
pulled
better.
off a sick
Episode
new beat
69.
at the beginning. Maybe Tyler will leave that in.
Yeah, for episode 69, can we have like a super inappropriate intro?
Oh, we absolutely
The
should.
ding dong song.
No, I was just thinking this is like, that really
You
funky
touch my
bass
tra-la-la.
in like 70 movies. 70s
My ding ding
movies.
dong.
Or we all make sex noises into the mic, and then Tyler edits that in Facebox style into the original sound, the original
Well,
theme.
Well, the problem here is Tyler doesn't have time to do stuff. So
Oh.
how can we do a new theme song, even if it's
Tyler-
Facebook style?
Tyler has plenty of time to make sex noises.
Which
Every
Well,
night
we will
before he
see.
goes to bed.
Don't let... My sister listens to this. She doesn't need to know about those. I mean...
Hey, you said
Oh,
we
come on.
we
Your
lost
sister's old
our
enough to know about the
entire
birds and the bees
European
by now.
demographic. So
Can you tell your sister I'm not racist?
Are you sure you don't want me to remove what you
shout
said
out
at the
to Tyler's
beginning?
sister.
Sorry, you challenged me to be offensive. I had to step up to the plate.
We set a bar. I reckon this would be a really good era of podcasts because someone like Quirky is going to come on and he's going to
Oh,
say
man.
something
Oh
super
god, we need
offensive and it's going to
Quirky
be
and
left
Spencer
in.
back on the podcast again.
Remember the C word episode?
Yeah, I've decided I'm no longer going to censor anything that's just like a swear word because what's the point? When you censor it, the next episode they're on, they say it more. So
Wait,
I'm
wait,
just
wait.
like, fuck it.
When did you ever censor swear words?
I only censored.
Come on, say it. You can do it.
Uh,
Wait, I thought British people loved that word.
well,
Ebola.
They. Oh, it wasn't Ebola. Can
Fuck
you
you.
imagine that podcast?
That was my
if we
nightmare,
Nice
not
one.
Tyler's.
Canterbury. Is that it?
Right, I'm going to explain. There's 3 words that in my work I don't like saying.
Shit, piss, fuck.
Is one of them
No,
council?
I say them all the time.
Eagle,
N-word?
monkey, orange.
No. It's like the N-word for obvious reasons. There's no reason to say it. So.
Orange, monkey, eagle, I don't know.
The other one is when it's taken out of context. I don't like using this word, but the word rape, because I remember TDB Tom said on a Let's Play, I feel like my mind's been raped, and I was like, dude, don't be like that. It's like a really sensitive topic, so can we not bring that into this? And the third one is see you next Tuesday. I don't like saying it in my productions, so I thought I could censor it from the Shifty keys. And then I was like, what am I doing? This isn't mine. And then after, they said it for, the 10th time in a podcast, I was just like, fuck it, I'm leaving it in. But those are, the only 3 words that I would never say in my stuff. But I can guarantee you go back through the podcast, I've probably said all of them at one point. You can never fully censor yourself. Especially on Uncut stuff.
Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday or Thursday. Come on,
I'm
you can
not
put that
touching
together. That's... Sorry. That's good. Ugh.
Come until nobody talks.
That's it,
Well-
essentially.
I can interrupt this awkward silence with a really disgusting text from my friend.
Please do, that would be interesting.
Well, she used to be a roommate of mine. I just moved out recently, and I was telling her about how I got to take my cat to the vet because I found a worm. And she says, ew, and I say, oh, all right. And then she asks, can people get worms from cats? And I'm like, I'm not sure. And then she says, I've been wondering because for at least 2 months my booty has been itching.
Oh wow.
I think you should get that checked, Mishu's friends. Don't text about that and just be like, yeah, whatever. It's probably a worm.
She says, it may not be, but I sat in that garage on that couch a lot in my gown. LOL. Oh man, does she go commando in the garage?
Oh, jeez.
Well, if your
Well,
butt
Well,
is
maybe she
itching,
should
you
check
should
and see if
get
her
that
cat
checked.
has worms first.
Or if the sofa has fleas or something.
Oh, the
Or
cat
if
definitely
the
has a
sofa
worm.
has worms.
Oh, is it the same cat?
Yeah, it's just the one cat.
Ah.
Jeez. I
And,
feel like
you can
oh.
pretty much test positive for a worm when you can see it poking out.
oh,
Okay,
That's nasty.
that's graphic.
that's not graphic. We need a
That's
picture
too
first.
graphic.
Actually, a semi-related story.
Wait, put a
Sonny.
graphic of a worm on the title card. That's graphic.
My cousin
Just a cartoon
had a
worm.
cat once that like ate a ball of string, and at one point the string was poking out of its butt. So she just grabbed the string and just pulled the rest of it out.
Oh Jesus!
No.
Got through like a mile of cat intestine.
It's
Oh
like
my
flossing
God.
your butt.
Oh no!
The worst thing about that is the cat can't do anything. What's the cat gonna do? Like, if it runs away, it's gonna result in the same thing happening.
Well,
Just
at least
holding
you'll
onto the
know where
string.
your
Just a
cat
lot
is,
faster and with
you
more
leave a
luck.
track.
It's like when people used to tie strings to their teeth and then shut the door to get their loose teeth out.
Oh, I would never do
Oh.
that. When people say that, it's like, oh, you can get rid of that tooth by doing this. I'm like, yeah, and I can also dislodge my entire gums. It's like, why would I do that? I would wait for it to fall out naturally.
Just take some pliers and pull it out.
Oh, okay.
Ron
You want to know
Sports
the
in
grossest
style.
thing I ever seen come out of a cat? One time we had some orange tabby. I don't even remember this cat's name. Poor cat, though. We had it locked in a bathroom once with a dog. God, I don't remember what circumstances that set this up. I was like 10 years old. But when we opened the door again, the cat's tailbone was on the ground. It was
What?
fine. There was just a string of vertebrae that was kind of gooey, and it was on the ground. The dog had ripped its tail out.
Oh,
And the cat was just sitting there like, yeah, no biggie.
Well, its tail still worked. I guess the muscles were in there. They just didn't have bone. I have no idea how medically
Jesus
that was
Christ.
possible.
that dog's
Cats
an
have 9
asshole.
lives.
Can we talk about something that?
Luis is gonna
won't
fucking
make me
hate
sick.
these episodes.
Listen, don't call Peter. That cat lived a long and healthy life, without his tailbone.
Oh my
And it's not
God!
exactly. It's
Peter
not
would
exactly.
just like take the cat and then euthanize it. We
Oh
all know
yeah,
that's
probably.
true. Second
Plus-
offensive thing in this podcast, by the way.
It was 20 years ago. That cat's probably dead now.
Well, it should be. And like the average life of a cat is under 20 years, isn't it? All the cat lovers out there are probably saying no.
Unless it's RoboCat.
Fuck you, Tyler. My cat's gonna live forever.
Just stick a picture onto it that says like "immortal forever," but spelled wrong.
I know a hack. Name your pet Dorian Gray. Make a painting out of it, and hide this painting in the cellar or something like that.
No, what you need to do
And
is stand
there
next
you
to
go.
it. You stand next to it and you go up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, start, and see how it reacts. And then you go, yay, it's immortal, it hasn't died. Sorry. Shout out
And
to
it has unlimited
Konami.
ammo. That's amazing.
30 lives? Yes!
Suddenly your
Ah.
cat can beat Blanca. You didn't know how, but...
It's walking on the walls instead of the floor.
Damn it, now
Um,
my cat has a better KD ratio than me.
I feel like I have to bring up Konami because they're being massive dicks at the moment. That's kind of one of the biggest segues that we had that made sense. From a cat's tail being ripped out to a Konami code reference.
Makes
But
perfect sense.
Konami recently have been major dicks to Kojima. You know, the creator of Metal Gear, and they were working on Silent Hills. That's what came, PT that came out last year. That was what that huge
There's
thing
more
was
than
about.
one hill now? God damn.
Yeah, it was going to be PT stood for like the pre-trailer or
Playable
something.
teaser.
Yeah, that's it. And it was going to be for Silent Hills, which has now been cancelled, and Hideo Kojima's name has been removed off of pretty much everything to do with Konami. So, do you reckon he's been fired, or do you reckon this is another weird Kojima hoax thing that's going around and getting a surprising amount of publicity? Because a lot of people are surprisingly talking about it, including us now. Or just me.
Either he was fired or he quit, which I think is more possible, unless he did something that was a major fuck up, and they were like, "Well, even though you're Hideo Kojima, you're out."
Yeah, but what could he do? What could he do though?
I don't know. Walk around naked in the office.
I would let him. He fucking made that company. Well, he didn't, but look at how many multi-platinum selling games that he gave them. You know, I would let him do whatever the fuck he wanted.
Well, maybe
Kojima
not
obviously
anything.
has a better project to work on. He's going into space. It's like when Bungie started their space program.
Space. I kind of feel sad about it though.
He'll make the best video games in space.
I just hope that Ubisoft and Konami don't go through the same path that EA has taken, aka selling their souls to the devil.
EA was always assholes.
Did Ubisoft already do that?
Well, not always. Remember when they made the Harry Potter games? They were still somewhat good guys, but now it's fucking DLC all over, everywhere. And I'm sour because Battlefront is definitely gonna have the space DLC, and those motherfuckers could have added it for free, just like in Battlefront 2 was.
What I fucking hate about EA is
C-words.
They have this slogan for EA Sports, which is EA Sports. It's in the game. No, it's fucking not, because it's DLC! It's never in the game. You have to go buy a bundle to get the shit that you actually want. It's in the game if you pay full price and then more. Fucking hell.
It's because there are very small letters at the bottom of the logo screen which say exactly that. It's in the game if you buy the DLC.
Yeah, but speaking of
are they only talking about how the letters E and A are in the word game?
Or that.
It's literally there.
Myshu, you went for a thought process that I never ever thought about. That's brilliant.
Well, if it makes you feel better, it took 10 years for me to figure out Ash Ketchum was a pun.
Is it?
Oh god, again, I blew your mind.
How?
Ketchum?
Catch 'em all?
Oh, shit.
Luis is like, what?
Took Luis 18 years.
That many blows at once.
Luis is like, I thought it was about ketchup. No! My life!
I can neither confirm or deny these rumors.
Now you're going to have your press corps announce your retirement from podcasting.
Yeah, you're like, I've given up on the Shifty keys. I'm giving all of my retirement fund to TJ. He can control it.
Totally. I'm totally in favor of that.
Don't blow those $20 in one place.
Luis, don't worry, the cement blocks will be near your house soon, and we'll set up the banner, and the charity event will be underway. We'll make sure your balls get kicked until you die soon. Gosh.
Jesus, Tyler.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, Sonny wanted to tell us his elaborate way of killing Luis.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Well. Well.
Just imagining that evil smirk.
The way to kill someone and get away with it is to make sure that either it looks like an accident or the body is never found. So obviously that has to happen. One of the things that's a problem is, I have to be in the same place as Luis if we have to kill him.
So you can't cut the brakes on this podcast and then watch it roll downhill?
I just love Luis's awkward silence. Sorry for cutting you off there, TJ, but Luis is deadly silent at the moment.
I wasn't saying anything.
No, wait, what?
You
I
mean
said
Sonny?
Sonny.
You
I
said
was
TJ.
still talking. Okay.
Sorry.
I'm silent because he's talking. That's why. Go on.
You're
Yeah,
very
it's a
courteous to your
problem.
murderer.
It's a real problem with 5 people because we all like to talk.
Oh yeah.
So to kill him, I have to be in the same place, which would probably be at RTX. And killing someone there sounds hard. So I have to do it while RTX is happening, while he's there. But outside of RTX, maybe at a bar or something, slip something in his drink, and then take him somewhere in an alley, just stab him and leave him there, and that's the easiest way to do it.
That whole thing sounds like a metaphor.
Stab him in the way that I'm thinking from behind.
Oh my god.
No,
Really, guys?
No.
We should film that Shifty Key X-rated, After Dark, Uncut, Uncensored.
I was just thinking about how you can murder somebody at RTX. What if you just led him to a group of the floor that was just filled with a lot of women and put on a Joel mask and just let him go to town on that?
Yeah. You just like sellotape him to like one of the cast members and to see everyone just think that he's attacking the cast member. So
He just gets beat to death by guardians.
Just push Louise to the ground, point in the direction, and yell, "It's Gavin!" Start a stampede.
put like a bag over his head so no one knows.
No, people can seriously die from getting trampled in crowds.
Oh yeah.
Like all that Black Friday crap.
Oh,
crazy.
that fucking stupid shit.
I heard Britain just adopted Black Friday this past year.
Yeah, we did, and I don't know why, because we don't even have Thanksgiving. It's like, Black Friday's a thing because of Thanksgiving, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm seeing grandmas getting kicked to the floor because an umbrella's half price. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
That sounds so British. Umbrellas half price, and then just grandma's getting toppled over.
No,
I need to get
teeth
myself an umbrella
spilling.
because it's raining all the time because I live in Britain.
the one thing that pissed me off the most...
It's British. You gotta call it parasol.
Fuck off, like we would ever call it an aerosol. But like... The thing that really pissed me off was there was one particular store that started protesting in the store and causing damage and basically yelling and, just being assholes because the store ran out of stuff. The stock was gone. What were they trying to accomplish? Like, what were they expecting? Everyone to come out and go, don't worry, we're going to start putting stuff out back onto the aisles, just be patient, and then you can riot for it. It's like, what the fuck?
Ooh, was it a Tesco?
riot?
I always imagine Tesco's are like the Walmart of Britain.
Pretty much. That or Asda. Asda has, like, a brand that's essentially called Walmart, but I don't know if it's actually associated with the American company. I don't know.
Well, now we know that Britain is just as
Illuminati
crazy as America.
confirmed.
We've
So let's
always
have a round
kind
of
of had
applause
it.
for that.
Stupid
Come on.
people live everywhere.
Yeah, and so do
Yeah.
smart people, but less frequently. I gotta say though, like, that whole Black Friday thing pissed me off. It's like, fucking hell.
What about Rebecca's Friday?
Rebecca Black's Friday?
God damn it, Louise.
I haven't thought of that all year, and now you brought it back.
Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
What if her whole life is a pun? Leading up to this moment right here.
I would just love it if
Somewhere,
she...
somehow, her parents are like, yes, finally someone got it.
I would love it if she released a song that was actually really fucking good. Like, nothing wrong with it at all. It was just a really good song. To see how many
Tyler,
people would...
shots fired, calling all of her music shit.
Well, I don't know her music. All
All
I
of
know
her
is
one
Friday.
song.
That's pretty
How-
bad.
How would you know about this song if she just released it and no one ever told you about it?
I just wouldn't know about it. No, it wouldn't matter
Exactly.
to me. But if someone sent me a thing saying Rebecca Black Tuesday, but it was actually like a really thought-provoking song that was really complex and had like...
She actually
You know.
has a song called Saturday.
No, wasn't it a different
Oh,
musician
God.
from the same record company?
The refrain from the song is "See you next Tuesday." Tyler hates it.
She releases a song called Tuesday, and that's the chorus. But like, you can guarantee she would, if she released a masterpiece, everyone would still think it was shit just because of Friday. Just because they wouldn't be able to get that out of their heads. Because that's the way the internet works.
That's kind of the way everybody works. If something's terrible, that kind of, it's all over.
So her one-hit wonder is a one-hit blunder.
Heyo.
Well, I mean, maybe someday she could get out of it if she just started having repeated good things, but I haven't heard a thing about her since that
Friday.
since Friday.
Since a couple of days ago.
It is
Since
now
yesterday.
Saturday. It is now
She's
Saturday.
probably the internet's equivalent of witness protection, for fuck's sake.
To be honest, though, like...
Okay, yeah, that was a bit much when people were like, "Oh, your music sucks. I'm going to kill you." Like, no, that's not appropriate.
Yeah.
Let's not be dicks.
I hated the stupid stuff where it was like death threats about it, and I sat there and was like, really? Out of all the people you're going to send a death threat to?
Honestly, I think everybody on the internet has received a death threat at some point in their life.
Fucking, I've received a death threat in my life. Not while with the Shifty keys, because I poorly reviewed a game that someone liked. That was
Sonny,
sad. Fortunately, there's no evidence of that ever being on the internet. I kind of got out of that one quick, because apparently it was an unpopular opinion that I didn't like Crash of the Titans. Fucking hell. It's a terrible game and you know it.
Wait, someone gave you shit because of that?
Yes, they did.
During the podcast or for...
No. This was fucking 5 or 6 years ago. This
Alright,
is when
so
I was new to the internet.
Here's the thing. Crash of the Titans is a crappy game.
It's
not the worst
fucking
game
terrible.
out there, but it's a crappy game, and Sierra fucked it up big time. So I am still waiting for the day in which Naughty Dog will retrieve the franchise and save Crash from the pile of shit that it's been in. There you go.
Luis, are you sure you want to say that? They might threaten you now. They might get into your
Uncut,
face.
motherfucker.
I can't remember what the message
Not calling
explicitly
you the
said.
motherfucker. The haters.
I can't remember what the message explicitly said, but it was along the lines of, like every typical internet comment out there. If you
I'm
don't
trying
like this,
guerrilla warfare instead of guerrilla. I'm a sniper, the first in my battalion. I can snipe you from I don't know how many kilometers away, you little shit.
it was
that kind
like,
of
you
stuff.
what, mate? If you don't like it, you should go and kill yourself or something. Was the comment, and
What was
I was
that?
like,
Hate, mate.
Oh my god.
wow, really? Because
Put
you
me
don't
in an
video
irate
game.
state, mate.
But like, even if I insulted something that was a masterpiece of a game, that shouldn't be someone's first reaction, right? Like, I think highly of this game, but Final Fantasy VII, if I had a bad opinion of it, I wouldn't expect someone to just immediately private message me and go, you should kill yourself, because I said something bad about a good game. Like, a game is nothing in comparison to someone's life. I hope
Honestly,
people
I
realize
think
that.
that would be rare. Most of the time, they'll just get into a long, heated chain of, comments and stuff where it's like, no, I don't care about your facts and your opinions. But
Fuck you and your opinions.
You know,
Was it really a private message?
It was a direct message that I responded to, and then they responded back, being a little bit more in detail. But like as I said, I don't have the account anymore, so I can't read it out. I would have loved to read it word for word and credited whoever sent it to me, because they probably, they were probably like 10 years old or something. And
Well,
now
it's
they're
weird
like
because
18.
usually people who tell other people to die on the internet want all the attention they can get. They would post it publicly. Why would they privately target you out?
That's the thing that kind of scared me about it, because I was like, if it was a private thing, like if it was a public thing rather, fine, because they want to be big man in front of the internet. But when it's private, suddenly it's like it hits you a little bit harder, and you're like,
It
Whoa.
probably is an age thing, to be honest. Like, it's probably a young kid who's, he's old enough to have been on the internet a couple of years, but he's not, like old enough to realize the whole reason why people say that kind of stuff, to seek attention. He just thinks that's what you tell people. He doesn't know how to have a complex argument and, debate you or anything like that. He's just like, yeah, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to send a private message.
Yeah. And I'm sure that we in this room might have had a similar thing. Has anyone else had a experience where someone said you should just go kill yourself?
Probably.
No?
I don't know.
I've played Call of Duty.
Oh, that doesn't count. When you're playing games online, you get that fucking... I expect that every day.
Well, not because of internet or gaming, maybe like real life, but then again, I don't fucking remember.
It's weird.
No, I don't think I've ever had a stranger tell me to go die. I don't think that's ever happened. Then again, I don't play online games.
Lucky. Sonny, how about yourself?
No one has ever told me to kill myself. I'm
So
sorry
I'm-
to disappoint you.
So I'm really on my own on this? Damn.
Actually, I'm surprised no one's told me to go fuck off and drown in a ditch earlier because I am a furry.
You're
And
what?
now... A furry.
No, I
So?
seriously did not understand.
Is something wrong with being a furry?
Oh, furry, and there's a ferry. Like, what? How come you're a ferry? Do you transport cars?
I sparkle everywhere I go.
ferry.
I think we got to that stage of society where it's just like...
Sparkle.
You can say anything, and if someone's first reaction is you should go and kill yourself, then immediately the person everyone disrespects is the person that said you should kill yourself. Regardless if the other person says he was or she was something really bad. Like, well, actually, no, I don't know what I'm saying anymore, because you could say many things that would get that response.
You know-
Shut myself up.
What is the
You're
biggest...
such a Spartan sloth.
Oh, thank you. Wait, I'm not sure how to feel about this. I have a question for you guys, and also some sort of challenge for our audience. What is the biggest sequence of "you what mate" meme comment that you have ever seen or are able to create? Because I see a lot of people going like, "you're what mate," and like make a bunch of things with the number 8 in it. But I've never seen one that goes for all, like forever, like the gorilla tactics thing. I
Like,
even messaged
That's
I
actually
guess it
the,
was Tyler the other day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this question comes from an example, doesn't it?
yeah, great bait, mate. No debate.
much.
I rate it 8 out of 8. I hate to be in an irate state,
I remember.
but it's my fate. And then I said afterwards, I hope they don't masturbate over it, and yay. Mature comedy.
Unedited.
That's
Yay.
what the fuck? Why do you mean that's unedited? We would have said that without the edit. Or without the lack of
Also,
editing, fuck it.
Before you guys can answer, or if you don't have an answer, just a second. There's a comment in the Rebecca Black Saturday music video that says, "What happened with her voice? In Friday was like a little pig being murdered with a spoon."
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah, it was what?
It was like a little pig being murdered by a spoon. A lot of thought went into that, but I don't see the resemblance.
Yeah, I mean, it has nothing to do with your what, mate.
Jeez.
But anyway, how long can you guys go with that?
What a great bait.
Well, I feel like it's not something you can just say. You have to like type it out.
Yeah,
Well,
and
it seems
plus-
like a job for Sonny88.
Yeah, Sonny88 had
Hey.
a great masturbate about plates,
Mate.
and he rated those plates 8 out of 8, which was great because the fate of these plates, god damn it, it's like saying the same words.
Unless her
over and
name is
over.
Barbara.
I would much rather just procrastinate.
Hey! Oh, I can't do that much more. With the uni deadlines looming, procrastination has been slim.
If you can't procrastinate, then why not procrastinate?
Procrastinate? Procrastinate?
You are doing something, but you're not doing anything. Boosh.
Luis, Don't become
Just set the date.
deconstructional on us. Ugh. Do you know what I kind of like about the fact that this is going to be uncut? I don't have to worry if this podcast becomes a 2-hour podcast because it will take me the same amount of time to edit it. As opposed to having like a 1-hour podcast or 2 hours. It would be roughly the same time for me to get it done instead of 2 days to edit. Oh, that's going to make me feel so good. So relieved. Sorry, audience. That has to do with all of the pops and clicks and stuff.
Yeah, fuck you guys. You're gonna hear all the pops and clicks.
Oh, God.
We're gonna have all the clicks come after you. You're gonna have the emos and the jocks and the nerds.
Not that
Those
kind
weird
of click.
kids that jam around in the corner with their cellos and their ukuleles. And then Sonny's gonna walk right into your ear and just start doing that.
Shout out to Sonny and Luis, who's trying to make it really uncomfortable for our audience.
It's a background concerto for when the rest of us are talking.
Luis doesn't
Beatbox
realize.
podcast.
Luis doesn't realize this, but as soon as he went to do the Inception noise, I turned his volume down. So
I wasn't going to do the Inception noise.
I heard a little bit of it that just went, "Brr," and then I started turning you down.
No, come on. Don't
I would like to come on, but there is nowhere to.
Oh,
Come on,
Come on, Ali!
Oh God! Uncut,
high five,
everybody! Well, you know what I'm going to do with that.
didn't see that coming, did you?
The one
I'm not
thing
going to
you
uncut that.
edited.
I'm not
Write
going to
down the
uncut that.
time.
But I don't even have to. Because on the waveforms, you can see the point where there's like a peaking line of audio for the last, like, I don't know, 2 seconds where you went, brrr.
Kind of like this. Brrr.
Why? Why? Why the fuck do you do this? Like,
If he just does that through the rest of the podcast, then
It's because he's such a SpartanSloth.
Yeah, man.
he is. He's such a fucking SpartanSloth. What I don't
There's a lot
understand.
all around.
What I don't understand about it as well is he'll do it once when it's slightly in context to Inception, and then everyone will kind of roll their eyes about it or go, "Oh, fuck's sake." And then he'll do it again 10 minutes later on the same podcast, as if it's gonna be funnier. Heads up,
It is
Luis.
funnier for me.
It's not, because it takes fucking ages for me to edit it out.
well, Tyler, what's important is that we all had fun.
Yeah, I suppose that is the positive about it. But every time I see that kind of like sound wave, I can immediately tell you what's happened just by looking at the sound waves. I should not be this familiar with the fucking Inception noise from Luis. Luis is like, now I'm going to find a new editor.
Hey,
Like,
Tyler,
shit.
Tyler.
Don't do it. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Fucking hell. I was like, if you do it
Baby
right into the
Inception
mic,
noise.
you're just making it painful for the audience.
The one time Tyler just had to make all these noises.
I think it's kind of like on purpose somehow.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that like the audience gets to hear all the shit that I would have cut out of the podcast. It's like, this is what we have to usually cut out.
Classic Shifty keys. 90% fewer awkward silences, 90% more random noises.
Do you think an awkward silence would still be awkward if it's intentional? Apparently so.
I'm so glad everyone went on board with that.
We were all on board with that. Damn.
Oh,
that's
man.
Perfect.
Because I always worry about awkward silences on our podcast because I'm like, if someone's listening to this, they're going to think the video froze or something like that. So I'm like, I better remove this or make it 1 second long or something, which is the amount of detail I would go into every time there's a silence.
Well,
But I
that is
sat
what they
there-
call good editing.
Yeah, and I was like, what happens if it's intentional? Maybe it would be less of a drag. Apparently not. That felt like 7 seconds, even though I didn't. It felt like it was less. No. Even though it clearly wasn't 7 seconds. Blah. Whatever.
For a second in the middle
No, it
of
was
that,
about 3 seconds.
it looked like Sonny was about to say something, and then I think he realized what we were doing.
Yeah, that wasn't planned. The audience
No,
knows
I
this.
just did what TJ was doing, so.
Masturbating?
Sonny, don't tell him. Damn it,
Stu-
Sonny.
Oh.
You kind of hear in the
Oh.
background, like, a slapping of the flesh. And you're
What
like,
do you think all those beatbox noises were?
they were just covering it up. Until Luis just went, "Oh!" like that in the background. You hear like a splatter
He's getting
against
stabbed by
something.
Sonny in your back alley.
Also, I just accidentally said beatbot. I wonder what a robot doing beatbox would sound like.
I'd expect it to be really
Bleep,
fucking
bloop.
good. It is his
Beep,
main
bop, boop.
language.
Beep.
This place is filled with mean ladies.
Oh, silver ladies.
Okay, I
That's
got an
beatbot.
ethical question for everyone.
Oh,
A question?
that's lovely.
Oh dear.
Yes. Well, I got into this discussion with my roommate. Not the one with the itchy butthole. The other one.
Shout out to each buttholes.
The other
I don't
one,
know why that was so
Amber on the
funny.
RT site. She's been staying with me for a bit, and we got to this discussion about there was a news story come out when did everybody hear that Iceman from X-Men is now gay? It came out in a comic, and the news story made kind of a big deal about it. And the
Yeah,
thing was,
it's like his past version from an alternate reality or the current reality, I don't know, is gay, but the present/future one is straight. Apparently, it's like a whole thing. It's mind bending, but yeah, go on.
I think Mishu was just about to explain that, and you
Oh
can't.
shit! I'm so sorry.
no, you saved me the breath. Thanks, man. Thumbs up.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, that's the situation basically. I think it's Jean Grey that comes to him and says, "Why do you keep saying women are hot? Aren't you gay?" Because she's reading his mind, which is cheating. But it brought up an interesting discussion. If you had that friend who was in the closet, like so far in the closet, he comes out with snow covered in him because he went to Narnia, and you had to. And you knew he kept dating women and it was just in these awful relationships because he was actually gay, but he couldn't come out and he couldn't come out. Would you use your psychic powers to deduce this and confront him, or would that be invasive?
I feel like it
Ooh.
would be like an invasion of privacy to just read your friends' minds. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I imagine with a power like that, sometimes things just kind of slip through, especially if you spend a lot of time with somebody. But like, also, I don't know. I probably wouldn't be able to handle just walking up to somebody and saying, "So, you're gay, right?"
I think as well, like, just with the ability to read minds, like, not only with, like, the whole gay thing, it can be about literally anything. You know everything that's on this person's mind just by looking at them. That's already kind of, like, unfair and unethical because, like, you could tell so much about them, you know, just
So how'd the proctology
immediately.
appointment go yesterday?
It's like, yeah, did
Oh.
you
But
get
it
that?
didn't tell anyone about the proctologist.
How did that visit to the clinic go? Oh,
Oh,
good.
don't bother answering. I know the answer already.
Yeah. It's
How's
like,
that itchy
oh,
butthole working out for you?
Yeah. I hope that they like.
So sorry your HIV test came back positive.
I guess like the ethical part of it would be like how they deal with, like when we're talking in relevance to the homosexuality of it, that they deal with it maturely. Because if it's something where she just pops around the corner and goes, "Wait a minute, aren't you gay?" in front of like a whole room of people,
Well,
that
yeah,
would
if you're
be
outing him in
fucking
front of a group, you're a
dickish.
douchebag.
Yeah. But if it's like a private conversation between the two, you know, and you're just telling him outright what's on his mind anyway, then I see that as kind of supportive in a way. Because it's like, look, I know this. Why are you keeping this from everybody? Like, why can't you just
Yeah.
be who you are? You know?
Yeah, would you be a bad friend if you ignored it? Because psychically, it's like neon lights in your face. I'm gay.
Yeah. You could be a huge dick or a huge therapist. That's all I'm saying.
Why not both?
Or you could. Just,
You
like,
could be a dick therapist.
you could be that guy that's like, you know what?
Hey,
Dick
you have
whisperer.
issues. Talk to people about it, you motherfucker.
Yeah, like you could persuade him to be open about it with all his friends, and then go, "Ha! in the background. You know, like the guy in the classroom that just goes, ha, gay, in the background. Like after you've helped him come out and stuff, but that would be mean.
Gay.
You'd be that Nelson character. Ha ha, ha ha.
Yeah. After helping him, it's like, that stings.
I made the mistake of taking this question to some of my homophobic family members. I probably should use a better example because their first reaction was, I think I would keep the information as blackmail. I'm like, really?
As blackmail?
1, you're a really shitty friend. 2,
Jeez.
2, you're really shitty.
1, you're shitty. 2, you're really shitty. That's when you know you fucked up.
3, when you go to the toilet, you're even more shitty.
Because of shit. Shit.
Oh, I'm glad someone got it. Sorry.
I had to explain.
Oh, my back just did that like tingly feeling where everything cramped. But I don't want to like stretch and click it out in case like my backbone just snaps in half.
You're a brittle man.
I am weak.
Such a weak and pitiful human.
So I've been
solved
working
it.
on a programming project. I've been downloading some scripts and things, and there's this one guy who publishes scripts, and I hate getting stuff from him because he writes the user manuals in the most obtuse way possible. Like, you'd have to be borderline autistic to understand his train of thought and decode these scripts, but then he puts below them, just because he's a stellar human being apparently, read the user manual before asking anything. I won't give support to lazy fags, and he misspelled fags, that ignore the manual.
Wait, how do you misspell fags?
Does it have
Yes.
2 G's in it?
I think it has only 1 G, isn't
It
it?
only has 1.
I mean,
Why?
the shortened version of the word has only 1 G, but the let's say full-on version of the word has 2 G's.
Louise, you can say it. Like, you're not using it in context, so you're not offending anyone.
The F word.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
F word. Gosh.
The longer
Fortune
F
cookie.
word.
Yeah,
I always feel like it's dancing around the subject when people do that. Don't you? Like when
You what, mate?
Yeah, you what? When like
Well, it
you
could
know
be
that
talking about
word-
cigarettes.
Yeah, or like just the meal. There is a meal called faggots, right? I don't know. Fuck it.
No, what?
There is, I'm sure.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, Sonny just linked it. I didn't even see that.
I'm fast.
Wow. But yeah, I hate when
Sonny knows more about
A
traditional
side
UK
note
foods
for
than Tyler.
future Louise, don't forget to link Sonny's link about Faggot, the food.
yeah.
It just looks like beef tips and mashed potatoes.
And Saturday by Rebecca Black.
And everything else linked here.
Exactly.
But Myshu, that dude, no offense if he's a like close friend, he does sound a little bit egotistical. Like,
No, he's
I-
a huge douchebag. He's not my friend. He's just this brilliant coder who writes these amazing scripts that I don't want to use because he's an asshole who doesn't support anyone.
he's like, here's all the information, but if you need any help, go fuck yourself. It's like, you can't do that, you know?
Well, how do you think he got to be such a great coder? Obviously, he has no friends because he's a huge asshole.
Maybe. You know, if you have no friends, it's sometimes the most productive thing you can do. Like,
That's why
not
I don't
an
have
insult.
friends.
You have friends.
Aw.
You
Are
have
you
all
guys
the
my friends?
Oh, Luis over here, I don't know about him. He's kind of a dick.
I'm your arch enemy, so no.
Oh, yeah, I have 3
sorry,
friends
some-
and 1 enemy in here.
We didn't bring that up.
Hey,
Frenemy.
I'm your friend.
Luis, you didn't bring that up, that Sonny and Myshu are apparently like arch enemies since podcast.
All right. So
30?
yeah, I guess you
Number
do have like
30,
3
30,
friends and
yeah.
1 enemy, 1 arch enemy. Because here's the deal. A long time ago, there was this question, which was, "Who is your arch enemy?" And apparently, Myshu answered, "It's Sonny." And so this is awkward, you know.
Well, Sonny was the one who asked the question.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that was... That makes more sense. Like, if Sonny asked the question, then it seems like a polite way to not offend anyone else by immediately saying that it was the person that asked He's the bad
Yeah,
guy.
I was just returning to sender, hey?
Yeah, that's it. Oh,
And then she asked me to build a death ray.
Yeah, how's that going, by the way?
Well, good guys don't build death rays.
yeah, he's been
Oh, every
procrastinating.
villain thinks they're the good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There wouldn't be wars if
Yeah.
everyone thought that they were the good guy.
I don't think that's how.
Obviously,
it works.
because I'm American, I have to be the good guy, right? And she says so in all the movies.
Yeah, exactly.
It says so in all the movies. I'm sure there's many movies out there where America's the bad guy. Like a James Bond film, perhaps.
Or Avatar.
Well, that's like any human.
Yeah,
being
that's
dicks.
just like Earth, but it's essentially America.
Well,
I mean,
why do you assume that it's America?
It's literally Pocahontas. Well, yeah, well, I guess if it's Pocahontas, then it would be England, wouldn't it?
Why are you assuming it's England?
Because in Pocahontas, it was the English that came over and slaughtered all the
Well,
Native
yeah.
Americans.
Yeah,
I kind of
it's-
love doing that though. When I'm like, why
You kind of love
assume it's
slaughtering
this?
Native Americans? What the
No!
fuck is wrong with you?
Ah, that's so typical of like
God
The
damn
early
Great
it.
British
British Empire.
Empire. Oh,
Yeah.
Now we've
What?
lost our Native American demographic. Thank you.
Damn.
So how many is that we've lost? We've lost the people from Belgium. We've lost the Native Americans.
see, that's why we like don't have that many views sometimes, or that we don't get questions often because the guys
Sure.
keep ruining it.
I think we just don't market ourselves well enough. Like, we just need an episode where we're really offensive, and then like we offend like
And we also
social
release
justice.
like a sex
Ding
tape.
dong, here it is.
No. We offend like SJWs. What's the social justice
Social
warriors?
justice warriors.
Yeah, we insult them or do something that offends them, and they come over and they're like, "This is fucking bullshit." They get like a shitload of comments.
They start
pushes
posting
our
it all
video
over
up.
Tumblr, and then people are like, "Wow,
Yeah.
that's actually kind of funny."
And it's like,
Tumblr.
can you believe this shit? The shit that they're saying, and it's like advertising it for us.
So you're of the philosophy
Bang.
that bad press is better than no press?
No, any press is good press. It works for Rebecca Black. She released an awful song, yet she's more well known than people that are in the charts right now.
And we're
Hey,
still
don't listen
talking
to any
about
of her new songs.
Why didn't
Any
she?
press.
Why didn't she just release an album that was every day of the week?
Because it would get too predictable.
Plus, when
She
she
did.
is developing one. But speaking of Rebecca Black, you guys want to do some questions?
Depends.
Great segue.
Yes.
Yeah, that was our
Yes, I
weakest
know, thank
segue.
you.
Oh.
Tyler, how about you shut the fuck up?
How about you go suck a dick?
Shots
I
fired.
mean,
I think we have a problem.
Speaking of dick sucking,
because-
what's the mass of the sun?
wait, the mass of the
Okay.
sun. That was
Okay.
the best segue. TJ caught me
Okay.
off guard. Sonny.
So there's a
Okay.
problem here.
Sonny's still
Yeah.
trying to speak, Luis.
The only questions that haven't been answered are mine, Luis's, and Tyler's.
Yeah, I was about to get there.
Shit, we should have planned out who was going to be on this podcast. Like, we should have had one where I'm not here, and then Luis isn't here, and then Sonny's not here, and we could have asked those questions specifically, but...
Maybe we
well.
should start supplementing our questions with random questions from Wiki Answers.
You guys
Maybe.
can't hear me face palming, but
Maybe we should ask
Hey.
any questions.
Yeah, let's just ask questions of our own.
Like,
Do you guys
how
want to
big
come
is the
up with
sun?
something on the spot, or just read one of the ones that are here?
You ever wonder why we're here? It's one of
Yeah.
life's great mysteries, isn't it?
Like
why
a puma?
are we here? I mean, are we the product of some cosmic coincidence? Or is there really a god watching everything? With a plan for us and stuff?
No, I meant, why the fuck are we up here when we could be down there in the shade?
I got a brilliant question.
Okay, so just to clarify, we're going to
Shout out
come
to Red
up
versus
with
Blue.
the questions on the spot.
No, we'll do the ones that are in text, because that's more fun. And
Alright.
we're not going to beg for more questions. That never works. I'm going to face it with a reverse psychology. We don't need your questions. In fact, we don't want them. Actually, that might not work. We need them, guys. We're desperate. Start scratching at my arm.
For every question we receive, we will personally slap Tyler once we meet him in person. Like, one question, one slap.
If you recorded a video out of it and it got a lot of hits for the channel, then I would not be opposed to this. You do realise that bad press is good press and slapping people is good for the economy. I don't know how, but it is. Everyone should do it. Are we going to ask some questions?
Hey, I already was all over the Iceman thing, so I'm covered.
Well, TJ has said he'll be right back real quick. So behind the scenes, we're going to pan out this part until he comes back and then ask some questions. Louise, I got a question. Can you stop doing that? That's one of the questions.
Okay, so you bring your question.
Fuck!
Can the title card for this episode be just that black technical difficulties card?
But Tyler, hold on. Let's do the questions on the spot then, if you want to ask a question so badly.
No, because I feel like that takes away the questions that we put in the forum.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Okay, then. What's your question?
We got to keep to the formula, yeah? Because then otherwise...
Are you gay?
No, next question.
Not that I have anything against people that are. It's just that I'm not. I hate it when people get really offended by that as well.
I always love that Seinfeld episode where they keep going back to, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. I hate that.
I like that episode where they tried not to masturbate and they all lost.
Oh yeah, and George won, but then he lied about it. And it comes out in the final fucking episode. The contest, I cheated. Why? Because I'm a cheater.
Okay, if we're talking out of this room here, from top to bottom, from Myshu to Sonny to Louise, myself and TJ, who out of all of us do you expect will probably have a... No, that's wrong to ask that question. I'm kind of filtering myself because I kind of don't want to know. But I was going to say, who do you think would break and masturbate first in a situation like that? But then I was like, I kind of don't want to know. I can't think of myself pinpointing who would. Actually, I would. I reckon TJ would first. TJ would break it day one.
Wait.
Oh, shit,
I may or may not have gone AFK.
He
may or
just
may
came
not
back
have
to
no
hear
idea
that?
what the conversation is.
Wait, you didn't hear the question?
No.
Good. Right, can we move on with the actual questions and pretend that never happened?
As a female,
Please,
do I have
let's.
advantage in this contest?
Depends.
Wait, what is the contest?
Contest. I wasn't paying attention. My sister was talking to me,
Fucking
so...
hell, you're the admins here and you're not paying attention to the very complex
Hey,
question?
when you have
right
background
back.
noise, try to focus.
I do all the
Because
time.
it's not easy.
Okay, I'm going to repeat it again. I was going to let it be a secret for TJ. But Myshu expressed... What was the show? Seinfeld, right?
Aye, Seinfeld.
Yeah. There was a contest that they done. They were trying not to masturbate or something. And I said, okay, from
Or
the
something,
top...
no, that was it.
Yeah, that was it, yeah.
And they never mentioned masturbate in that episode once.
But I said, from the top to the bottom, from Myshu, Sonny, Louise, me, and TJ, who do you expect from each person would break that and lose first? And I said it would be TJ, just as you arrived.
Well, fuck you. I went 12 years without masturbating. I can go another 12.
Yeah, but that 12 years was before anything was fully developed down there. Well, not in that way, but you know what I mean. You had nothing down there. You were a Ken Barbie doll.
That's how it works. It just pops up out of nowhere one day. It's like, oh, what is this?
Speaking of masturbation, I have an awkward story about that.
Oh, wow.
What? Really? I'm curious. That made me sound like a pervert, but I'm curious to hear what it is.
Tyler, we could all hear you unzipping.
Wait a minute.
Well, when I was growing up, my mom,
Zip.
she was super Catholic. She was, beaten by nuns as she was growing up in the schools, in the convents. And
They
she used
still
to
do
tell
that
me a
nowadays.
story
Ayo.
about this saint. I think it's Mother Mary of Ágreda or something. Not positive, can't reference this. But the thing is, she was just like super fugly and all hunchbacked, and she got locked in a cellar most of her life and beaten up. And then they finally let her out, and she got to be a nun, and she got to be a really, really good nun. But my mom would make a point in this story to say the only sin she had to confess for all the time was, and this is her phrasing, she would always keep interrupting herself. And I'm like, what, like speaking? And it took 5 minutes to get it out of my mom that she apparently, diddled her badger like all the time. All the time. Would have to confess this to a priest like every day. But she's like, oh, but she's a great saint. I'm like, man, Catholic Church, you got a lot of issues going on here. You need to work those out.
Like, I think the biggest issue here is, this is like getting close to talking about religion and politics that we normally don't do, but Uncut episodes, so I'm going to do it. But surely they must have thought that there's a bigger issue here, that they locked someone away for like, how long? Years? And beat the shit out of her, and it's like, but you must confess that you kind of twiddled. Where are the people that beat her up and shit like that? Are they confessing daily as well? Because I think that
I
they
don't know,
should
the
be.
story was all jacked up, and she would read this to me when I was like 10.
But trying not to say anything. Gosh. Must have been super awkward.
Oh, only the most awkward.
Yeah, I just feel like that is nothing to be confessing about. And she had to embarrass herself every day confessing about it. But there's people out there that were kicking the shit out of her. And that's messed up. Because they probably didn't confess. Or if they did, there's no record of it. Anyway, should we go into actual questions now, Luis? Or what?
Yeah, sure. Let's do some questions. What was that?
Is the link to the saint, I believe, that Myshu just sent to us. Saint, is that correct when it's saint or saintress? I don't know. I think it's just saint.
It's still saint.
It's saint.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's saint.
Actually, according to this, she's only venerable, which means she's like one level below saint. I guess all that diddling took her off the chart.
Fuck's sake.
So, questions.
She didn't make it high enough in the pyramid scheme.
Questions.
Oh.
Okay then. I feel like we've come close, or we did break our rules a little bit here.
Uncut.
Yeah, well. So, this question is by SpartanSloth. I heard he's a sexy motherfucker.
I
also
heard
I
he has
heard
a
the
small
opposite.
lifted for charity.
Fuck.
The
guys.
question is, what's your best drunk story? Whether you were drunk or someone else was drunk while you were present.
I can answer straight away. I think I talked about this on the podcast before, but we had a drinking game with Sonny88p, where we would try to drink a shot of rum in our university dorms every time that there was a loading screen to Sonny88p. Needless to say, it was emotional, because there was many loading screens in that game, and whoever was playing it completed it. In fact, I remember who completed it, but I'm going to keep his name anonymous. But he completed it, and I can swear to God, everyone in that room probably forgot half of the adventure. And there's no way we could have kept up with drinking every single time, because it was just nonsense, But that's my favourite drunk story. I've now quit drinking after that, because your liver can only take so much. You guys?
Alright, so, I guess I have a story. I was not actually drunk at the time. It was other people. It was at a party for Model UN, of all things. And,
Oh, no.
So, basically, a lot of things happened that night, so I'm just gonna single out one thing, I guess. So there were kind of like, I guess in parties there are always like two groups. There's like the one group outside having their, little chats, and then there's a group inside who's doing something. So the group outside, they made a bet between each other. They made a bet that they couldn't make those of us on the inside. They made a bet that they could make us play Truth or Dare, as college students who are drunk do. So they made a bet that they couldn't play Truth or Dare, and that they wanted to see if they could get the one girl in the room to get her shirt off.
Perverts.
So
Should be ashamed.
But eventually it did happen through a dare of for her and a guy to trade their shirts. So they won their bet. And then in the midst of all this, there were other crazy dares, like the club president, who was completely, lost. He was done. We had him try to do like jumping jacks, and he ended up falling over and crashing into a table. That we had fun. We have fun.
And it sounds like you have too much fun at Model UN. It sounds like something that should be boring, but then you have these stories, and it's like, what?
This one time at Model UN.
Yeah.
All I'm getting from this is that the real UN needs more alcohol.
That would actually probably solve more issues if everyone was blind drunk.
And every country brings like their specialty, the Russian one brings vodka.
Yeah, they have to do a test before they can become a United Nations delegate. It's like, are you a happy drunk? Yes? Welcome in.
Ireland would love it.
It's like all the happy drunks are just there, like passing bills and actually getting stuff done instead of arguing.
And then there's some people that are just like face down in their desk, throwing up, not used to it at all.
Ethiopia.
There's vomit buckets by every podium.
You got like America and Britain arguing again. Jeez. It would either solve world problems or cause more wars.
That's why you get all the happy drunks in there. Not the angry drunks, all the happy drunks, so they're all happy all the time.
Speaking of drinking and drunks, while these questions are being asked, desperately need to go to the toilet. One sec, I'll be right back. You can carry on there.
Okay. So, drunk stories. I have one. Well, I never got drunk myself. There was this one time I went to a Christmas or New Year's Eve party or something that was being thrown by my aunt's company, like the one she works for. And one of her bosses stacked up a bunch of those plastic chairs, and he was already drunk off his ass. And so he stacked up a bunch of those plastic chairs and decided to sit on it because, quote unquote, he was a king. So he sat on those chairs. The chairs didn't support his weight or something, because, he kind of resembled a little bit Jabba. And because the chairs were not stable enough, he wasn't even fat. That's another story. But anyway, so he climbed onto those chairs and just fell off. The chairs broke, and he fell with a really loud bang, brrr. And then he just got up and was like, "No, I'm fine. And then he started laughing about it, like as if nothing had happened.
Ha 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 ha.
It was something.
Every time I get drunk, I end up shaved. That's not really an interesting story.
You
I know
end
my
up
brother-in-law though.
Where do you get shaved?
Why did I have to return to that?
We're moving on. So,
What the fuck?
my
Classic
brother-in-law
Sonny.
used to have a friend, and they were both big sword collectors. They collect knives, swords, all kinds of things, and they got drunk one time when they were testing out some swords they just got. And one of them was holding one up, and one of them grabbed a sword, and the other one grabbed a piece of paper and said, "Dude, stab through this piece of paper." And he's like, "No, you're holding it right in front of your chest. I'm gonna stab right through you." And he's like, "Oh yeah, hang on a second." So he extends his arm so the paper's laid across that. And end of the story, he got stabbed in the elbow.
Fucking
Oh
hell.
God.
Oh wow.
What a beautiful formula. Alcohol and swords.
Yeah, two things that go very well together. I mean,
Yeah,
if
I'm
it,
surprised they're still alive.
if it worked for Highlander,
am
I guess
I.
it could work for them.
So,
Ah.
drunk stories. I actually don't have any good drunk stories. Because they all would be just depressing. Because they all
Sonny,
involve my dad.
I want to give you a hug.
Aww.
Virtual hugs don't do anything.
Virtual hugs solve everything.
It's okay. One time my mom got really drunk and walked out in the middle of the street wearing only like silky see-through lingerie and pointed a 6-shooter pistol at a neighbor's dog.
Fucking
At least
hell.
that's exciting. My stories are not exciting. It's just my dad just drops down on the floor and I have to pick him up and get him up the stairs. That's it. Oh, and one
we do
time
want to give
he
you hugs
accused
now.
me of hacking Facebook.
All of Facebook.
Yes.
To do what?
To get a girl that's in his chat to not be visible.
I'm sorry, that's funny. I mean, that's terrible, but not funny, but very funny in hindsight.
Yeah. Did everyone answer? Or did Luis not answer yet? Because I've kind of
Luis
heard...
answered.
What did Luis
Well,
say?
have I not seen yet?
Oh, no, I was just wondering what your drunk story was. Never mind.
Oh, no, I already told. It was like my aunt's boss just fell off a bunch of chairs he stacked, claiming he was a king, and it was fucking hilarious.
Do we have more questions?
I'm sorry, I'm
we
still
do?
laughing at the Facebook thing. 'Cause obviously a chick didn't want to talk to your dad, so he blamed you. That's fucked up.
Yes, it is fucked up.
Oh,
Then he
Sonny.
sobered up, and then he accused me again.
That's messed up. When they're sober and it's like, you're still to blame, and it's like, what the fuck did I do?
Listen, everyone, just email your hugs to Sonny88p@gmail.com.
I think Sonny gets a lot of hugs. Because you're a popular dude. You're a sexy Belgian, you know? Gotta get all
Yes.
the hugs.
Continue.
He doesn't need more hugs, is what I'm saying. No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay, so you're saying he doesn't deserve hugs.
He gets
to
the
be a dick,
compliment
Tyler.
from me, even though I don't think I've ever seen him in real life besides one occasion, I think.
Dick pics don't count.
Damn it! No, I
No
think-
shaft shots.
You maybe have seen pictures of me, but not the real
Yeah.
me.
That makes it sound
It's a
poetic.
clever ruse.
You see-
I know I am handsome, but I don't think you know that.
the picture that I sent of you with me in Brazil with a hot babe and a surfboard. Yeah, that's not me. That's just a ruse. Wink.
Yeah, that's me. I mean, I'm from Brazil.
Luis could actually do that and have it completely in context and still not be like, you know, never mind.
You what, mate?
It would still be undepressingly unsexual. Do we have another question?
I do. I'm waiting.
A question.
Anyway, this question was asked by TDBTyler.
Oh,
What? And his question is, when someone flips a coin, do you always predict the same outcome, or do you like to mix it up? Which is an euphemism for sex.
no.
Wait,
I
getting
mean,
head
considering
question
Tyler who has the
is-
question, it is an euphemism.
No, it's not. But if you were saying that I always get head, then you could say that's a euphemism.
Wow, I didn't think of it that way, like heads or tails.
Hey,
Or you get some tail.
Damn!
Getting some of that tail.
hey
Would you
guys,
rather
save it
get
for
head or
podcast
get tail?
69.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I personally always go for heads. You know what? I should have left my finger on the push to talk button because I started taking a drink expecting someone to take that the sexual way, but
I
it's
did.
true. Like I was drinking, I was just like classically drinking from a bottle. I thought it would have added, but like I always go with heads because people say tails never fails, and when it fucks up, they're like, "Well, this is awkward." So I just go with heads because then I can be the dick that points at them and laughs.
It's like people who are playing like exploration games and they always say left is right.
No, left is left.
I don't really always pick the same. I
Ooh.
think I like mixing it up. I don't know. Just whatever I feel like saying at the time. So either heads or tails.
Crazy.
If you know what I mean. Wink!
That
You're a
means-
loose cannon. You always pick different things.
Yeah, like that's risky, man. Have you ever thought that could be a make or break moment for this business? The one that I'm making up in my head. Never mind. TJ, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I agree with Luis. I don't have a plan. Like, I don't plan ahead. Like, okay,
Do
every
you plan a
coin
tail?
flip ever will be tails. No, I'm just whatever comes up on the spot. Somebody says heads or tails, I'll be like, tails, heads. So I don't care. It's not that I'm being a loose cannon. I legitimately don't care.
As
Next
someone
question.
who knows a lot about statistics, it really doesn't matter.
Well, can I explain my theory of why I would always go?
No.
But it's interesting.
Aw, shut down.
Oh, I'm going to say it anyway because they can't stop me.
Well, I mean, I could always
You
just
do
talk
know that
over
a
you while
theory
you're
needs
trying to
proof?
speak, and then we could just keep talking, and
No.
then nothing could ever get done.
The theory is
Because things are terrible.
TJ, don't be that guy.
So the earthquake in South
Nepal?
Korea happened, and then there are giant things, and aliens invaded.
Fucking hell, guys. Anyway, my theory behind it, and you, Sonny. My theory behind it is when I used to mix it up, I always used to somehow statistically fuck up. Like I always go tails, it'll be heads. Heads, it'll be tails. So I decided, you know what? The coin is always going to change. So why should my decision keep on changing? Why not be satisfied with going, I'm always going to say heads. So 50% of the time I'm right or wrong depending on my decision. But it's not my decision's fault, it's the coin's fault. But if my decision and the coin keep on changing, you know, that means there's like a 25% chance in my head that it was someone's fault.
That's
Because-
right. Don't blame yourself. Blame the coin or God.
I'm blaming the coin. I'm blaming the coin and the wind and the person that flicked it. But
When God
But,
gives you
like,
heads, make
I
tails.
I feel like it makes more sense
Ew.
if you constantly say the same thing, it's eventually going to be right. That makes it sound like a psychopath. But it's true. Like if you say heads, 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 eventually it's going to be heads. You know?
So insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, right?
Exactly. And madness can teach everyone a very good lesson. This is something you should take away from this podcast alone. Sorry, what? Everyone's just like, Tyler's gone mad. He really should
Next
edit
question.
this one.
Next question.
Tyler has already been mad since the beginning.
Since 2007.
Right. I
Since I was
was gonna
introduced
ask
to the internet.
what. Oh, okay. Well, there's that then. I guess we can wrap up here. I mean, we sent it the
No,
questions for the audience.
more.
He wants more.
Shut the
Oh,
fuck
shit.
up, Sonny.
Okay.
She doesn't.
God damn it, Sonny.
DJ doesn't. Oh,
I was
we're
to ruin
outvoted.
everything. No, I'm just kidding. I don't.
Okay, you guys want to do
don't
one
give a
more
fuck.
question?
Oh!
One more year. One
One
more
more
year.
year.
4 more
Right.
beers. 4 more beers.
So, this question is by Sonny88p, and he
Yay.
asks if smoking, not including secondhand smoke, cause people to die instantly from cancer, would that be a good or bad thing?
Sonny,
Bad?
why? Why would you ask this?
It would help people end smoking.
By killing, essentially, it's
I
killing
would be dead
themselves.
by now.
Only one has to die,
FYI.
and then everyone else knows, and no one else has to smoke ever again.
Wait, TJ, you smoke?
No, my mom smokes, so secondhand
Yeah.
smoke. He didn't say smoking.
So-
He said
No,
secondhand
he said that
smoking.
secondhand smoke does not count.
Oh, never mind. That'd be fine.
So one day, magically, every cigarette in the world is cyanide.
Yes.
Isn't there actually cyanide in cigarettes? Probably.
Well,
Yes.
90%
it's-
cyanide, as opposed to the 10% cyanide they have now.
Yeah. I don't smoke, and I don't like people smoking near me. I think it's really disrespectful when people just throw that fucking cloud up your face. But still, people instantly dying from smoking is kind of bad,
A bit extreme.
Yeah.
Well, one, there's a lot of people who are not going to get the memo on that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It does cause cancer, and there are still people who smoke, so they didn't get that memo. I'm imagining
Secondly, you
that.
can't just drop a nicotine addiction
Well,
like that. People
exactly.
will find other ways to get the fix. Suddenly, everyone's dipping the next day.
So
yay, no more lung
it would be
cancer.
bad.
Yay, more gum cancer, gum disease.
Well, yay, no more lung cancer, but yay, everyone that had a cigarette this day has just dropped down on the floor and died. That would be a huge percentage of everyone's population taking a massive hit like that.
Yeah, it would be a pretty big. I don't know about huge, but
Well,
actually, the state I live in, Florida, is like it's gone crazy hard mode crackdown thing on smoking. Like you can't smoke in public areas.
UK's had that for years now.
Like they've had commercials going on for years about like anti-smoking commercials. They've even banned smoking at like spring break. And Florida is like the spring break state.
Ooh, that's tough. Hey, do people, so in Florida, is there a lot of those people smoking like those e-cigarettes or vapors?
Oh yeah, like that's literally every cigarette I see now, especially at school. Which is ironic considering they recently showed that there's more shitty stuff in e-cigarettes than in regular cigarettes, because the companies making the e-cigarettes didn't get the memo that literally all they needed to do was take nicotine and put it in, water.
And put in water, yeah.
They literally took the only good thing about e-cigarettes and were like, what can we do to fuck this up?
I know,
have to
let's
find a way
put
to fuck it
tar
up.
in there. Fuck.
All you need is water and nicotine, and they fucked it up. They had one job.
With me as well, like, I don't smoke, and I personally don't like people that smoke excessively near me. But I wouldn't wish that, like, that one cigarette one day suddenly killed someone, because, like, people do go through a lot of stress in life. And let's say if it's just one person's had a really fucking shitty day, they've never smoked before, but they were like, fuck it, my girlfriend's left me, my job's fired me, I need something to just calm me down. Instead of it being alcohol. Well, alcohol is just as damaging, you could say, but like if he turns around and goes, you know what, fucking, I'll have a cigarette or something, or once, or someone offers him a cigarette, I feel like it's unjust that they die immediately from having
Just smoke weed,
one.
it's better for you.
To be honest, it's one of those
420!
things. 420 is good for you, Jesus.
5'2".
I was like, they don't take
Get it.
that seriously, do they? Yeah, fucking hell, TJ. I was like, they don't actually do anything, do they? Because I've been here for a few years, in uni, and this isn't a thing. Holy shit, it is. I forget that every year that the place fucking smells of, you know what. I hate
You know what?
showing
I
uni
go back
dorms.
on the UN discussion. I don't want everyone to have alcohol. I want everyone to have joints.
Fuck.
That would solve the happy drunk problem. Everyone would be happy.
The only thing they wouldn't be able to solve is the world hunger crisis.
Because they would eat everything.
Oh.
Exactly. It's like, look at Ethiopia, you don't get any cookies.
I just
Every
think,
country brings their own stylized bong.
Fuck.
Like the African one is tribal mask for Nigeria and stuff.
Nah,
that's racist against Nigeria now. I apologize.
Thanks. All our Nigerian viewers are now angry at us. But Yeah, I just think with the question at hand, with the smoking, I feel like just if one cigarette a day would kill someone, then of course people would stop. Whether they like it or not, it would fucking murder them. But
So, Sonny, where did you get
Yeah.
the idea for this question?
yeah, Sonny, why? I feel like there's an agenda behind it. Are you pushing your agenda? Let's get Fox News in on this shit.
Well, the thing is, cigarettes kill people, but people still smoke, even though they know it kills them. But it's because it's long-lasting that they don't grasp the effect it has on them. If it's a short-term effect, they definitely know about it, then maybe they stop smoking.
Well, they would if one cigarette would kill
Exactly.
them.
I agree
But-
with
So
you.
the fact that they don't know they're being killed,
Um,
Well, the thing is, they
is
do
why
know,
they
they
don't
just don't
stop.
care.
This
yeah,
is the most
exactly.
comic book logic I've ever heard. It's like Sonny's
Yeah.
a villain.
Well, I mean, it does make sense. People would stop smoking, but only because all the smokers would be dead.
yeah, of course it would stop them because they would either be dead or people would be like, "Oh shit,"
So,
you know.
Just to save the time of creating a cigarette that kills people, let's just have a survey go out, ask everybody who smokes, and then break down everybody's door and shoot them in the face.
And plus, Sonny, there's one.
Sorry
piece
if
of...
that was a little dramatic.
It's fine, but like, there's one piece of logic that I would like to put up to the plate on this. You said the smoking kills you. Literally.
slowly, yes.
Well, slowly, but like literally, too much of
It
anything
is-
can kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, because my grandparents, they died of cancer because they smoked probably way too much. Is one of the reasons why I had asthma. But they knew that this would happen. Like it wouldn't have stopped them from smoking. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is why not say the same for alcohol, which could give you liver problems and can kill people. Why not say the same about working in dangerous situations like scaffolding? You could potentially die from anywhere, slowly or not.
Yes.
So
Everyone who goes to the beach could get skin cancer.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like saying.
Although,
if
no,
you-
I can't compare going to
And
the
then
beach
everybody
to smoking
who
cigarettes.
stays
Is
inside
that-
could die
is
of
that where
vitamin
we're
D
at now?
deficiency.
Theoretically, with the way that Sonny's put it, sorry, Sonny, I'm debating you on this. You could say that any time that, like, if people stood out too long in the sun, that they would immediately die because of sun cancer or sun cancer,
Sun cancer!
Well,
skin cancer. Sorry.
okay.
But
Well,
you see the comparison.
Before I let you continue, Tyler, just to be clear, Sonny, we're not we're not saying you're wrong because
Saying
you're
you're
right. It
wrong.
would stop people. We're
I'm sorry, Sonny, I love you.
just
I
gonna
know.
keep saying
I know.
Juneau, the capital of
Juneau.
Alaska.
So,
Oh, I thought you were referring to the film.
hey, let's do some questions for the audience now, right?
Okay.
Sounds good?
Do you like the Uncut episodes? No, actually, this should be for the guests.
Yeah, it's either a Myshu or a Sonny.
Fight for the
Alright.
death.
Fight.
Wait, what?
Question for the audience.
No, I said fate.
Ah.
Fight. Not wait,
Oh,
wait, wait.
fighting. No fighting. Kissing comes after that. We ain't doing that.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Jesus Louise. What was that?
Alright. Question for the audience. Have you gone to see Age of Ultron yet? If not, do it.
If not, why not? Sonny, I guess you could
It's
ask the
fucking
question
good.
if
I
you
watched
want.
it last night. Excellent movie.
Yeah, I guess you guys can both answer questions. Have it or ask questions.
Hmm.
You are pretty much the king of questions as well, because just look at the forums. Whenever we've run low on questions, it's just like, bam, Sonny, paragraph. So,
Our beautiful Belgian Prince of Questions.
Prince of Questions.
Am I Prince or King now?
Is that the question?
It's not a question.
No. I really have to think about it. Are you popular?
What?
It's a good philosophical question, I guess.
Philosophical, Tyler. Philosophical.
Thank you, TJ. I can't edit that out to pretend that I got it right, so I'm just going to
It's
go
a
on with it.
self-analytical question.
Ooh.
Yes,
Oh.
exactly.
I reckon I know this is answering the question live on the podcast, but I reckon
Just
if
do
anyone
it.
knows you, and you don't know them at all, then you can kind of consider yourself somewhat popular.
Oh, then I'm very popular.
Like, if you have no
Muy
contact with them, yeah,
At the very least, you're infamous.
or infamous. But then again, what's the
No
difference?
offense intended, by the way.
So,
I mean-
Rebecca Black, popular?
Well, yeah, because people know her. It's infamous.
Friday.
I heard you got to get down on Sunday nowadays, because
Oh, wait,
that's the
before we
day
go,
our
by the way,
podcast
Sonny.
comes out.
What do you think of the Shifty Key, not Shifty Key, shit, Internet Box, supposedly renewed for another season?
Well, when that happened, I got it mentioned in Twitter, and it suddenly exploded. So
You got mentioned?
I already know about it.
Aww. Sonny, you and your links.
He's so
But-
damn popular.
Yeah. Well, I think it's good that Internet Box is coming back, sure. But there's nothing more to say about that.
Ooh.
Okay, I was just asking your opinion, one Internet Box fan to another.
It's good.
Yeah. Although we were all kind of assholes in the podcast award chat. I don't know if you saw it. I did.
We all were, or just you?
Those of us who were there,
Poor
which
Sonny.
I was, because we were all just being complete dicks. We were like, "Oh, these people are terrible. Why are we here? Why don't they just skip to the good parts of the awards?" Plus, like, what? Some guy in a freaking leather jacket and a fedora won like half the awards anyway. So
So
Was it
you
you,
were
TJ?
complete dicks. What's an incomplete dick?
It's like just
It's
the
cut.
balls or yeah.
It's cut. It's an incomplete dick is what happens when Tyler edits it.
So
But-
Uncut is complete dicks.
So,
And-
wait, an incomplete dick is when someone fucks up a circumcision. Ayo!
Wait, I was supposed to use a special tool. I just use a pair of scissors.
I just slam it really hard with a hatchet. See what happens. With my eyes
Just slam
closed.
it with a hammer.
Well, don't work.
imagery.
Oh look, hedge clippers.
And I think that's a good to wrap up.
SpartanSloth is gonna love
talking
this.
about chopping off dicks, and you
Don't
know,
forget
as someone who
Easter
owns a
egg.
dick, that is not like a comfortable subject. So, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Myshu, Sonny, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hey, glad to be here.
And-
Thank you too, Sonny.
And don't forget to listen to the outro to find out how to interact with us. And
Ask
Well-
questions.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
if
try-
you guys could
try
send
and-
a question or two our way, would be very thankful.
Try and play the Game of Thrones with Sonny. Try to become the Question King.
You don't
And
know
until
John
next week-
Snedney.
Don't
you did it.
chop your dick off.
Wow, you fucked that up so bad. Get out
Can
of
I
here.
edit that out?
Go away. No.
Bye.
Hey, you're gonna edit that black abortion thing, right?
Do you actually want me to edit that out? Like, on a serious note?
Yeah, that was towards the beginning. It shouldn't be too much of a hassle. And if Tyler can't do it, I can do it.
Wait.
No, I'm fucking around. You guys can do it or not. It's okay with me.
Ah, cool. I might cut it out. Just because you're nice. Anyway, goodbye, everybody else.
Bye.
Bye. Fuck you all. I mean, I love you.
TJ.
Hashtag Uncut.
I'm sorry, baby. I love you.
Thanks for listening to the Shifty Key Podcast. The intro and outro music is provided to us by our editor, TDBTyler. To get more involved with the Shifty Key Podcast, you can answer the questions for the audience asked by our guests, or even ask the cast a question of your very own, either here in the YouTube comments or in our Rooster Teeth group. To keep updated with this channel's shenanigans, you can follow us on Twitter, join and watch our group on Rooster Teeth, or simply subscribe. All links will be in the description. Until next week, goodbye.
What should we do for an Easter egg today?
Let's
Anyone going
try
to
to make a
RTX?
quick
Let's
Easter
make
egg because they really need to go.
Luis has to go. I guess I can just quickly apologise for the fact that this won't be edited, and apologise to anyone we've offended, and just thank for anyone who managed to listen to the whole fucking thing.
Sorry to Belgium, Eastern Europe, Nigeria,
Yeah.
Native Americans,
Ireland,
regular Americans.
Catholics,
The English,
the English,
the French.
All the people of Earth and beyond.
Sonny,
Yeah,
I
we
feel like I have to
apologize.
All the
apologise to
people of the
Sonny.
galaxy
Smokers,
and the
non-smokers.
multiverse.
I have to apologise to Luis. I have to apologise to pretty much everyone.
And all the animals.
I want to thank PETA for not killing my cat.
I want to thank the Academy that made this this podcast what it is today.
And shout out to our advertisers for giving us all of the income that we use to run this podcast.
And
I want to thank
shout
you
out-
all for crowning me into Question King.
I want to say thank you to all my family that made it possible for me to be here today to say this in front of everybody.
Thanks to thanks to the goats and
for
the
fuck's sake.
ladies. Wink.
Well, okay, that one's more
God,
respectable.
Also,
Can
thanks
somebody
to
cue
the-
up the damn Oscar music, get people off the stage?
We get like a hook.
thanks to
that
the
pulls-
Autobots and the Avengers.
God, you're such a SpartanSloth.
I'm sorry to
Hey.
all the sloths that may be Spartan. Or from
I just
Sparta.
want to say that I've had a cold for like the past 2 weeks, so I've had
Congratulations!
Sorry to anyone I may have
like
affected.
mucus built up in my nose, and the Oscar
Oh,
music thing just
God.
made me
Tyler,
laugh.
cut it.
Just made me laugh so hard that by my nose. I'm so sorry.
I love how you're sorry, but you might not, like, you didn't have to
Kept
tell us.
going.
I
I'm
tried
sorry.
to think of a better way to say it, but I couldn't.
Well,
I'm sorry for
You know,
that thing that
just-
no one could have possibly
so
seen.
now you're covered in green mucus instead of white mucus.
I'm sorry to all the white mucus out there. I'm sorry to Mishu. I'm sorry to
I want to
Louise.
thank Mucinex for not being anywhere in my house.
I'd like to thank Chapstick because my lips get chappy sometimes.
Oh, shout out, big ups to my root beer float I just ate. Woohoo!
Big shout out to Evian.
shout out to each buttholes.
Shout out to Dr. Pepper, limited
Shout
edition
out-
Avengers cans.
Shout out
He's
to
not a real
Mentos.
doctor.
Can we get a brand deal by just like giving a shout out to a company like consistently and always tagging them till they're like,
Just-
actually, that would be a good idea to invest money.
Like
into
on
them.
Twitter, we talked about I don't know, Mentos. All
Shout out to
fucking
Hovis, the bread that I'm
time.
eating
Now you
right
gotta
now.
go Taco Bell, they'll endorse anyone.
Oh right.
I would love
I
to
wish
see
Disney
someone.
would
We need to
endorse
get an
us because we
endorsement
talk
from-
about Star Wars so much.
We need to get an endorsement from Taco Bell, Mountain Dew, and Doritos. We're all
I would-
set after that.
I would fucking love it if
And
Like-
none of
Oh,
those
crap, have you guys
companies
heard-
have any business in my country.
Well, yeah,
So-
me neither.
Have
But
you guys heard
I
about
mean,
the
Doritos does. We
The
do
what
have Doritos,
Doritos?
but other than that,
It's Mountain Dew that tastes like Doritos.
fuck that. That must be disgusting, and we don't even have really Mountain Dew over here. Well, we do, but it's not popular. Hey,
Mountain Doritos?
we don't really
It's-
have it over here,
Mountain
guys.
Doritos.
guys.
sorry, I gotta interrupt you, but I gotta go. So,
Okay, we'll wrap
Bye.
up the Easter egg.
Fine,
Bye,
leave us
everybody.
then.
Bye.
right. Sorry.
Bye.
I guess it's over. Go home.
But he's just left. We could talk shit about him behind his back. But one thing I was going to say was,
Okay.
I would love it if like someone was like not a huge fan, but like they've listened to everything we've done and never made a comment. But then they get to this part and we accidentally get endorsed somehow by pure convenience, a miracle. And then they comment after like listening to this bit. These guys just turned into massive sellouts. You know, like we didn't have it planned. Okay.
Yeah. The first 65 podcasts were gold, but man, then they got cheap.
Like they think like we started talking about brands, and then from this You know what? Never mind. This is rhetorical anyway.
I
think we
just
should
made
sign out.
I just made $150,000 off this podcast. Fuck all you
Fucking
guys.
hell! I would. Do you know what I would do with that kind of money? I would give it to all of our fucking guests and just be like, we literally couldn't do this without you, and then just buy a house.
Well, you wouldn't buy a house because you just gave all your money to the guests.
But there would be enough. Like, how much
What
money
if
did
we
you say?
bought a house with it and then all the guests could stay in it?
And we just
You
do
could
the
call
podcast.
it a guest house.
Ew. God, we should really. To be honest, I feel bad now that I've said this, because if I ever win money like through endorsements, that people were going to expect that money now, and I've said it. It's like a verbal agreement before it's even happened.
You've got two guests right here who have to get the first share.
I'm gonna show up at your door like Jay and Silent Bob and Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
Specifically your money, Tyler. Specifically
Please.
yours.
If
Me and
if-
Louis have shares.
But in my defense, I am not a part of the corporate industry of the Shifty Keys yet. I am not an admin, so any money I'm endorsed with came from the Shifty Keys. So I don't have to give that money to anyone because it wouldn't be given to me unless I'm an admin by the time that happens. Shit.
So then none of these statements expressed by TDBTyler are the same views expressed by the Shifty Key podcast channel.
Yeah, so you guys can get paid and be jerks with it and not give it to your guests. Just trying to throw you under the
Jerks.
bus.
You don't have to pay me anything. I already have enough money.
Sonny, that makes
How
me feel...
magnanimous of you. I want the money. Fuck you guys.
I want Sonny's money
you
now.
want me to pay you?
Yeah. No, I'm joking.
How
You giving
much
me
do you
your
want?
share of the money?
Are you offering us an advertisement, Sonny?
Sonny makes like a massive deal. Like we don't actually know who Sonny is. He could actually be a prince. So in Belgium, he might be able to put up billboards.
Tyler, he's not a prince, he's a king. Did
Well,
you
he's a
miss
king
the
now.
last 10 minutes of the podcast?
Well,
I
maybe
am not a prince. I am not a king. That's all I'm going to say.
you're a queen. Sorry.
I
am
am
not
not
a
a queen.
But I would love it if he's like a secret underground, undiscovered
You know,
millionaire.
he's not going to tell us, but he
not
may
gonna
have
tell us.
invented something that rhymes with May Smoke.
May smoke.
That's the
What?
worst. You're literally the worst.
Like, are you trying to imply that it rhymes with Facebook?
I'm not saying anything.
That's the joke.
I'm confuzzled. We should end this Easter
I
egg.
did not invent Facebook.
Aw.
Just make that the Easter
I,
egg. Just
I
that
may
soundbite.
have invented something else, but I did not invent Facebook.
MySpace. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Alright, well my laptop's out of battery, so
Yeah, we
I'm
need
out.
to stop this. Right. Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Bye, 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 bye.
Bye.
And we're gonna stop
Bye,
recording.
guys.
Bye.
Thanks for having me on.